All right. Picking you up here in the top of the second. 0-1. First and second for Hazleton with 2 outs.
You know, those high fly balls like that last one are going to be a little bit of a challenge today between the wind and the high sun. And right now, no clouds really around the sun. It is supposed to cloud up later on.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, sun feels good.
And he got hit with that pitch, but it didn't really look like he made much of an effort to get out of the way.
It didn't, but I did. It definitely heard it hit the elbow.
Good call.
And I think the umpire agrees with you, Paul.
I mean, to me, he looked like he stuck his arm out, but...
And he doesn't even have that elbow guard on.
Yeah, probably not something I probably would have done, but, you know, that's where the old saying, take one for the team, comes from. And that's going to run the count to 2-2. Smiley has looked good, has had some pretty good control at this point, but has had to work his way out of trouble both in the first and now in the second innings with 2 runners on base.
Yeah, and as you know, Paul, lots of times it's not just about the number of pitches you throw, but the stress of those pitches in these situations.
Just inside, and Smiley was about to walk it off. I think he was confused because he'd gotten that call a couple of times already today.
And that pitch was not far from the pitch that hit the elbow.
The full
Big
count.
pitch.
And he struck him out. A huge pitch there from Smiley. And works his way out of 2 runners on base both of the last 2 innings. Still nothing as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Mark your calendars for community night as we welcome all faculty, staff, alumni, and community members for the final home baseball game of the year against Cristiano. On Friday, April 26th, join us for pregame recognition ceremony on Senior Day, followed by a doubleheader scheduled for 4 p.m. first pitch. Catch the Knights under the lights for community night on April 26th. We will be right back. Back here
now
with you. Bottom of the second.
14, Zach Boyer.
And Boyer steps up to the plate, the senior.
And also the leading hitter on the team at .464, Paul. 13 for 28 already on the young season.
And that one is gonna get caught. And the
Now
pop out for
batting
Boyer.
number 31, Gabe Kaufman.
Kaufman steps up, hitting .438 with 9 RBI and 16 at-bats, including 10 runs. And bounced that pitch. Did Brister. Zero contest here. And that ball low runs the count to 2-0. And the pitch. High, runs the count to 3-1. And I think the Knights needed that big output, you could say, against Delaware County Community College after a tough split with Williamson trade. And the walk puts Kaufman on first.
And really, with the exception of a couple games to Penn State school kill,
34, David Thomas.
with the exception of those two games, the offense really hasn't been the issue. You know, they had a 12-11 loss, 14-9, 10-7, so they have definitely been scoring a lot of runs.
And how about Thomas with 10 RBIs, hitting .533 with 3 steals. An exciting freshman. Playing left field today. That's going to be high, and at this point, might as well just keep the bat on your shoulder until he throws a strike.
Yeah, he seems to have temporarily lost his strike zone here.
And runs it to 3-0. With Kevon Davis on deck, the senior. Davis has had a few RBI on the season thus far. Ready for him to get going. Of course, if you paid attention to basketball this season, you'll know that Kevon is one of our not only producers, but commentators. Did the commentary for men's basketball this year.
Number 50, Kevon Davis.
And Davis, a prime spot here to drive in some runs as there is a meeting of the minds, if you will, on the mound. Again, our apologies about if the camera moves a little bit. It's quite windy out here today, and it does play havoc with our camera, but we do have the 3-camera setup. Of course, we can go down to first base, and we can go to the high center field view, so we'll try to mix that up for you here. It is nothing here in the bottom of the second.
Temperature up to 43 degrees, but that wind is gusting probably up to 20 to 25 mile an hour at times.
But that sun being out now, as long as it doesn't go behind those clouds, should be okay and looking decent, at least for the short term. Way inside.
Little chin music there.
And Brister has lost it on the mound, walked 2 straight, and almost hit Davis. Low and on deck. And there's a strike from Brister. And right back up the box. Could be 2. And he gets the double play. That's back-to-back double plays to get out of an inning for Hazleton. And quiets the Knights. Runners on base. So we're going to go to the top of the 3rd inning. It's still 0-0.
The Nightly News Media Club at Central Penn College is looking for new members. Members have the opportunity to get hands-on experiences writing for our student publication, The Nightly News, being a part of the Nightly News podcast, and being a part of our sports live stream broadcast. Email Club Advisor Professor Paul Miller at paulmiller@centralpenn.edu.
And we'll be right back with the top of the
number 2, Eddie West.
One as Smiley has looked good today, has walked a couple batters, but still has looked pretty good. Here is locating that slider, although that one was off the plate. Of course, Wes walked and stole a base back in the first inning. And outside with the off-speed pitch. Just a picturesque day here, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, look how green the field is for March 19th.
Well, there were some 70-degree days there.
Yeah, there were. Yeah, last week would have been a beautiful day to be sitting out here.
Oh, my gosh. It's so weird. I was thinking, of course, I always look at the long-range forecast, and I said, oh, of course, it's 70 degrees, and we're looking at 42 next week was the original forecast. Should get up to 45 today as Smiley walks west for the second consecutive time.
Never a bad day to be at the ballpark, though.
Now batting number 13, Andrew Meitzler.
And Meitzler walked in the first. So that was walk number 3 for Smiley. Looks like he's got a 2-pitch mix, the slider and the fastball. But that might just be first time through the order. Maybe we see some additional pitches here coming up. And does get the call there on the outside corner.
So all of a sudden, the last couple of years, we hear of a new pitch called the sweeper. I don't really think it's a new pitch. I think it's a new name for an old pitch.
Agreed. And a good strike there, runs the count to 1-2. Of course, we'll keep an eye on West there. It's taken a pretty large lead. And the pitch, and there goes Wes.
Oh, that's a great throw. Oh, he dropped the ball, though.
Couldn't hold on to it.
That's a shame. That was a tough pitch to handle and a great throw down there, but just couldn't hang on.
But Hafner does have a cannon. In fact, in a story that we just released this morning, Kevon Davis was meeting and talking with some of the seniors on the team, and Zach Hafner said one of his favorite moments of being here is when he threw 5 runners out in a game.
Wow.
I mean, after 3, you would think, hey, maybe we pump the brakes on being so aggressive.
That's what I would think, but maybe you think we're due to get one.
I suppose. Sort of a mini shift here, and there's a big hole in the right side between Zell and Hoover. And that's going to be outside. That runs the count full.
Boy, that's a great job by Hafner to jump out there and field that ball. And you have to just erase that stolen base from your mind now and just really go after the hitter here.
Huge pitch here for the Knights. No outs. And that's going to go down to third.
Nice
great play by Boyer. And a great throw. And
that's a great play on both ends.
Absolutely, and holds the runner at second. Does Boyer. And you know what's interesting is Boyer actually moved over to third. He was actually a natural second base shortstop. Moved over to third and certainly doesn't have any issues with the arm.
Now batting number 8, Eric Sontag.
That's a big play. If that ball gets through, it's probably 1-0 Penn State Hazleton at this point. Instead, we've got 1 out and a runner still at second.
Huge play there. Sontag popped out in the first. What can Smiley do here? Little low. Again, Sontag, the junior, leads the team in at-bats, hits, tied for the lead in doubles and home runs. Only hitting .250 on the season, though. But he's made it count.
Good pitch there.
1 home run, 9 RBIs for Sontag. Plays a little third, plays a little first, according to the Hazleton website. And another good pitch.
Yeah, fell behind 2-0, but came back with 2 good strikes there.
So runners in scoring position every inning for Hazleton, but they haven't been able to convert. And
Another good stop.
a little low. Runs the count to 2-2. Beautiful afternoon here. If you are close to the ballpark, come on out. Free entry to all Knights home games this season here at FNB Field. Of course, you can go to centralpennknights.com for the schedule. And what a pitch by Smiley gets him to chase the high heat.
Yeah, after those pitches down in the zone, comes back and gets him with a high inside pitch. Another shout out to Hafner, too. He's probably saved a run this inning because that runner at second, he could have had two pitches get past him.
This is going to be a tough play for Zell. Makes it look routine. Zell, one of our better defenders. So another great play to get out of a little bit of trouble there as we go to the bottom of the third. We are still scoreless.
Good job to lay back on that one and wait instead of coming in because he would have gotten in between hop there.
It's hard to study when you're hungry. The college pantry can help. Central Penn College and your Student Government Associated are committed to ensuring that all of our CPC Knights have access to food when they need it. Requests are kept anonymous and can be submitted online. Look for the link under the links section of Student Central or contact Lindsay Garber, Director of Housing and Residence Life at Lindsay Garber at centralpenn.edu. We'll be right back with the back here with the FNB Field. 0-0 going to the bottom of the third as the Hazleton has a new pitcher, Jake Bobish.
Now batting number 7, Brian Lowen.
Third appearance on the year for Bobish, 12 innings pitched, 10 earned with a 7.50 ERA. So we'll see how Bobish can do here.
His other 2 appearances were starts, so this is the first time that he's come in relief this year.
And Lowen the shortstop. Big cut there from Bobish. It's going to be outside. Lowen, only 5 at-bats on the season, looking for his first hit, but does have a run. Big cut there. Looks like he's definitely doesn't quite have the velocity that Brister had, unless he's playing possum.
I'm going to show it all to the first hitter.
Outside with the slider. Again, we will be here with you every home game. We have 16 home games. That's 8 doubleheaders this season. Big cut. Blowing down on strikes here to start the 3rd inning.
Now batting, 0-0, Zach Hafner.
And a senior Hafner steps in.
A little bit of a delay here while the umpire goes for some more baseballs. Seen a lot of balls fouled out of play here today.
Hafner also looking for his first base hit on the season. And of course, the second that sun goes in, it chills out in a hurry. Downstairs for another ball. And right downtown for the strike. Hafner, a lot of memories here with Hafner. He's played at least since 2020 that I recall, and that one is way deep. And just out of play there off of the screen. The left fielder had a play on it. Unfortunately, did not come up with it. Grant could not make the catch.
Yeah, I think it actually went off the top of his glove there. But as I said, that wind, and it's blowing right to left out there. It's a tough wind.
The wind not blowing out, but blowing across, if you can see the flags out there in center field. Of course, we do play 2 7-inning contests, so here in the bottom of the 3rd, we're cruising right along.
Looking for somebody to dent that scoreboard. Both teams have threatened, but we haven't seen a runner at third base yet.
Those 2 double plays that end the 2 consecutive innings in the 1st and 2nd for the Knights, definitely we may look back on that.
And both those balls were hit hard. They just happened to be right at the third baseman and the shortstop.
Back-to-back strikeouts here for Bobish. It's going to bring us back to the top of the order with Owen Zell. Grounded out to second base
Now batting,
in the 1st.
number 11, Owen Zell.
It's the call on the outside corner. The 0-1 for Bobish. Zell squares, pulls back.
Of course, if Zell could bunt his way on here, it could turn into a double or a triple with his speed.
Big cut there. And The very, very disciplined Zell, I don't think I usually see him reaching for a pitch like that out of the strike zone, but does, and Bowish strikes out the side even with a little bit less velocity. As we go to the top of the fourth, it is still a 0-0 contest.
The Central Penn College app was designed with students in mind. The app brings the school to your fingertips and enables you to connect with the Central Penn community. Stay on top of your events, classes, and assignments with the built-in calendar function and get notified of important dates, deadlines, and security announcements. Make friends, ask questions, and access campus resources at any time. Search Central Penn College in the App Store.
Back here, top of the fourth inning, Cuevas is hit on the first pitch. Again, another sort of issue here. That's 2 straight innings that the Knights have allowed the leadoff runner to reach base.
Coach Stern making a trip to the mound here.
Does look like there's some stirring out in the Knights bullpen out in right field. Just as an aside, while we have a moment, if you are unable to attend the games, you can always go to centralpennknights.com and go to the baseball schedule and check out our live stats. You can do that while you're watching with us too, although we'll try to keep you abreast of the stats as much as we possibly can.
Now batting, number 23, Tyler Sewell.
And Sewell with the single, one of the few base hits in this game. In fact, according to my calculation, Steve, the only base hit in this game.
Yeah, both teams have put pressure on the other team, but not really with hits. It's been walks, hit by batter, or hit by pitch.
Catcher interference.
Catcher interference.
So this might be one of those who can score first type of games. And there he goes at second. That ball gets away from Hafner. I think he got a pretty good jump. I think he would have been in there either way.
I think he would have. Hafner's done a great job, but that was just a little too far outside for him to be able to handle.
Paul Miller, Steve Hassinger here for the Nightly News Media Club. Of course, you can check out all of our written work on sports and everything around campus at cpcnightlynews.com. Of course, we'll have all the home game wraps, but we do lots of other stories. Several this week, including one about Dr. Fadrizi's moving from Boyer House up to the ATEC building. And off his foot. Still a ball and 2 strikes. And of course, we are the Pennsylvania News Media Association victors this year as a second place showing from Dylan Bowman for sports photography this year, won first last year. So we are back-to-back award winners in sports photography at a statewide level of the Nightly News.
Dylan does a great job.
And there's a shot. Zell should have it and does.
And of course, Paul, you know, it's my real job. I'm the director of the Center for Career Services and Development. And in that capacity, I love the things the Nightly News does to help our students build their resumes and portfolios as well.
Jake Bartow.
Bartow popped up a bunt back in the second. We got one out runner on second base. Just off the plate.
Yeah, it was a big play back in the second because it was first and second with nobody out. So if he had gotten that bunt down, it would have been second and third with one out. It would have put a lot of pressure on Smiley.
The 1-0. And he hits him. That's 2 hit by pitch this inning.
And that can't feel good on a warm day, and I imagine today it feels even worse. So 2 on with 1 out again. It seems like we've been here before.
Grant steps in, struck out in the second. That strikeout would be helpful right here as Hoover again comes in on first base. Upstairs. Looks like Zerby up in the bullpen. And that was high. And that is a good play by the Knights. Good play by Kaufman.
And a good throw in by Kaufman to hold that runner at second.
Going back to the top of the order for Morgan, who struck out twice.
Now batting number 33, Shea Morgan.
Now, Steve, what is your thought process with 2 runners on, with the way that the shortstop is covering up and leaving that huge gap? I mean, I know that you don't want to have him, you know, at second get a free, huge lead, but that also leaves a big gap on the left side of the field.
Yeah, and if he wants to steal third base with 2 out, let him go because, you know, as we always say, you don't want to make the first or the third out at third. The most important thing here is the batter and getting the batter out because you've got 2 out. Might be a little bit different with 1 out.
Outside is Smiley. 2-1 with 2 down. Again, Hazleton threatening. It certainly hasn't been for a lack of base runners, that's for sure. But Smiley's gotten out of it every inning thus far. Can he get out of it here? Runs it to 3-1, and you do not want to load the bases here. Smiley takes a second and steps off.
You got to wonder if he does, if Coach Stern will come get him.
I would imagine if he was going to go to the lefty, he would have went to the lefty here. As that comes straight back. The 3-2 comes straight back again.
Smiley's really battled here this afternoon. He's had a lot of base runners, but he's really hung in there and gotten the big out when he needed it. Big pitch here.
The payoff pitch. And the runners go. That's going to be out of play to the left. And another full count.
Dishing out a lot of souvenirs here this afternoon.
Again, Wes hitting .290 on the season with 2 doubles and 4 RBI and 11 walks, leads the team, so he's got a good eye. That being
Good
said,
pitch.
he swung right through that and struck him out. I gotta tell you, what a strikeout there. Smiley has been a wizard with runners on base, and we're gonna go to the bottom of the 4th. Still a tie ball game.
Central Penn College Student Government Association is a voice for all students, those living on campus, those studying online, and those returning to continue their education. SGA is here to make your time at Central Penn College the best experience possible. You can contact SGA with any questions, comments, or concerns by emailing sga@centralpenn.edu.
And we will be right back to bring you the bottom.
Now batting number 33, say it with me, Adam Hoover.
Hoover steps in. Hoover walked, was thrown out as part of that double play back in the 1st. Remember, Bobish struck out the side. Last inning. So let's see what Hoover can do. Again, we talked about his low batting average, but high on base percentage. Got a great eye at the plate. Was going to pull the trigger there, but held off. And good thing, because it's 2-1. Honored to be here with you, Paul Miller and Steve Hassinger for the Nightly News. And that could be a play over down the first base line, but just out of play. Of course, you can always go to centralpennknights.com for future games, but our next home game will take place, and this is one you want to circle on the calendar, against Bucks County Community College. The 2 ESAC people who played in the ESAC championship game last year. Of course, the Knights being victorious as Hoover gets rung up.
They
looking.
Pulled the string on that one.
Steve, the next 2 games are both ESAC
Now
contests.
batting number 13, Nick Joseph.
2 against Bucks County on Monday, March 25th, and 2 against Manor on Monday, April 1st. Come on out. Hopefully we get some nice weather for you.
And we are officially in spring as of today.
Big cut by Joseph.
And you talked about Bobish not throwing real hard, but I'll tell you what, he's mixed the speeds up, and that can be difficult.
Little high. 2-1. Again, Joseph, the freshman, looks to be the everyday shortstop. Excuse me, he's playing center field today. Has the 4th most at-bats on the season. 6 of 20 with 5 RBIs. Leading the team with 11 walks, Steve. How about this? A .563 on-base percentage.
I could use that in my OBP fantasy league. Three and two here.
And it's going to be a tough play. And that gets through. And I believe that is the first base hit for the Knights as Joseph has the single.
Now batting, number 14, Zach Boyer.
Boyer flew out back in the second inning to lead it off. We will see how it goes down there at second base. If Joseph gets the green lights. And Boyer quickly in a hole 0-2. Joseph does have 3 steals on the season, but with Boyer up there and in a tight game, I would imagine he would hold. But Coach Stern coaches in mysterious ways. Oh, and they had him going.
They got him picked off.
They had him going, and he is out. And another tough break after the first base hit. He went on first move, and unfortunately gets thrown out with Boyer at the plate. And here comes a gust of wind. Apologize about that. A camera. Doing the best we can here with the camera. Got ahead of that one, did Boyer. And now in a hole 0-2. Certainly a nicer day, at least now, than I had anticipated.
Yeah.
But still a pretty stiff breeze.
And again, still plenty of time to come out and catch the end of this game and all of the second game.
And that ball's going to be popped up. And that's just out of play. Which is good because the catcher had a beat on it over there. And the pitch, and he smacks that one down to first baseline, but he's just hasn't adjusted to the slower pitches.
It's just out ahead of it a little bit. Nice to see him level off on one of those and put it in the gap.
And the big cut, and Boyer down on strikes. A 1-2-3 inning for Bobish, who's pitched very impressively to this point. And guess what? We will go to the top of the 5th. It's still a 0-0 game. Just remember, the Knights baseball schedule has been released. Save the date for doubleheaders at FNB Field to kick off the season. After today, on March 26th, the Knights host arch-rival Bucks County Community College. And on April 1st, the Knights take on ESAC, division opponents, Manor College.
For the Central Penn Knights, number 23, Colton Zerman.
Those two contests on the 26th and April 1st will start at 1 o'clock. In fact, all games this season start at 1 p.m. outside of Community Night, which starts at 4. And as always, you can keep up with Knights baseball all season at www.centralpennknights.com. We'll be back here with the top of the 5th inning. Back here with you. Paul Miller, Steve Hassinger.
Change of pitcher here, Paul. Colton Zerbe makes his way into the game for his 4th appearance.
Now batting number 2, Abbee Breski.
Zerbe on the season 1-0 with a 6.23 ERA.
Wes 0 for 0 on the day, but with the 2 walks, also has 2 steals. You know, Steve, I don't know if you got the chance, but Dalton Kohler produced a couple of podcasts called Talkin' Knights, where he had a couple of different Knights on, and Zerbe was on one of the episodes. Excellent sort of short-form podcast that they did as part of a final project in our sports broadcasting class. But it was great to hear Zerbe on there, getting his impressions of last season.
I did catch that, Paul, and they did a great job. And again, you know, another resume builder, being able to put those links out there and share them via social media and other ways. Great way to showcase some of the talent that they have outside of the baseball field.
Well, and Steve, after this inning, we're going to talk about a special online job fair that students can pay attention to. That'll be our half-inning discussion, so I'm looking forward to chatting about that. So stay tuned during the next break. And what can Zerbe do here? And that's going to be a base hit over the outstretched arms of Lowen. Steve, another inning.
Yeah, and they're going to have to watch him. As you said, he already has 2 stolen bases in the game.
Number 13, Andrew Meisler.
Gonna keep an eye on Wes down there at first base. See what kind of lead he gets. Good slider there for Zerbe. Just off the plate. The fastball's outside. And I mean, here's a place where you have to imagine that Wes feels confident in running. He's not taking a very big lead, though, and this is going to be a challenge out in left center, but good catch.
Yeah, and again, none of those high fly balls are sure out with the wind and the sun. The wind had died down a little bit, though, when he hit that ball, fortunately.
Yes, fortunately. I'm glad that the wind died down a little bit. Thomas was able to bring in that ball, and again, now we're back in a situation where one pitch can get them out of this inning.
Number 8, Eric Sontag.
Yeah, Central Penn still looking for their first double play on the day.
Sontag 0 for 2. Popped out to the shortstop and struck out back in the 3rd. Just low.
Yeah, that pitch just missed. As a matter of fact, Zerbe wanted to know, was it outside or was it low?
The 2-0 pitch. Big cut there. Sontag comes up empty. And straight back. Yeah, Steve, both of these teams have, like as you mentioned earlier, have sort of similar backgrounds. 7 straight losses to sort of kick off the season for Hazleton, but they've won 3 of 4, as have the Knights.
Yeah.
So 2 hot teams coming in. Just got a piece of that one on the 2-2.
So not surprising that they be tie here in the 5th. What might be a little surprising is that neither one has scored a run. As you said, Knights scoring 50 runs over their last 2 games. And as we mentioned, 101 runs in 8 games so far this year.
Pretty impressive. And there's a shot through the hole for another single. As Sontag gets aboard. Bring up Campbell. Campbell 0 for 2 on the afternoon.
Now batting number 6, Briar Campbell.
Let's see what Zerby can do to this lefty here. Outside, and again, Hoover in on the grass, looking and trying to defend against that bunt.
And the rest of the infield at double play depth, looking to turn 2.
And low. 2-0. Do not want to get the bases loaded here. Does get that strike. And the pitch. Strike 2.
Come on, bro.
2 balls, 2 strikes. On a huge pitch here. Just gets a piece of that, does Campbell. Top 5, 1 down, nothing ball game. And another foul ball out of plate. .44 degrees and a slight breeze at this point. The wind has died down ever so slightly. And that is popped up. Out of play. Hafner thought he might have a chance. And just low, and there he goes to third. And that passed ball will go and advance the runners.
Takes the double play out of play, and got to hope for a strikeout here at 3-2. Infield in now. A scoreless game in the 5th. That 1 run would be a big run. So their Coach Stern is bringing the infield in.
And walks him to load the bases.
Puts a double play back in order, but no margin for error now.
4, Maximus Cuevas.
Come on, Max.
All right, bases loaded with 1 out. Let's see if we can get a double play ball here. And that's a big pitch to get ahead of him 0-1 here.
Popped him up. This could be trouble.
He's got the out, but it's going to plate a run.
And the sacrifice fly from Cuevas. Makes it 1-0 Hazleton.
That's where that pass ball really comes into play, is big there, to make it 2nd and 3rd with 1 out instead of 1st and 2nd.
Now batting number 23, Tyler Sewell.
Important batter here to keep this at 1 run in a 1-0 game.
Low and inside. Still 2 outs in first and second here, but 1 run across. And they thought they had him at second, but cannot come up with it. No one loosening out in the Knights pen. Looks like this is Zerby's inning, at least for the time being. Low and away.
Come on, Tyler. Here we go, Tyler. Smash and dash, Tyler. Here we go, Tyler.
Another one low. Zerby has struggled to locate the plate here in this inning.
Yeah, and he seems to be a little focused on the runner at second, and with 2 out, he just needs the out. So he really needs to just focus on the batter here. Good pitch there.
Beautiful pitch. Crossed him up a little bit.
So full count with 2 out. The runners will be off. Again, don't need to worry about the runners here. We just need to get the batter out.
Come on, Tyler. Come on, Tyler.
And the runners go,
Good
and he
pitch.
struck him out.
Well done.
Huge pitch from Zerby to get out of that inning with only 1 runner across. And as we go to the bottom of the 5th, the Knights trail 1-0. Now, Steve, we're going to have a little special discussion here. I wanted to talk with everybody about the virtual job fair that's going to be coming up. Central Penn students are invited to a virtual career fair through JA Inspire of Junior Achievement to explore careers and organizations. JA Inspire will be available to students from March 1st until June 30th. That's right, a career fair available for over 3 months. Starting March 1st, you can register an account at jascpa.vfairs.com. So, Steve, tell us a little bit about this wonderful experience and opportunity for our students at Central Penn.
Yeah, the nice thing about a virtual job fair, Paul, is you can log on at any time, 24/7 through June 30th, and you can do some exploration. So you can visit the booths in the exhibit hall. You can look by industry. So if you're particularly interested in the healthcare industry, let's say, you can go and you can find different employers connected to the healthcare industry. And some of the employers will have videos posted so you can learn more about the organization and the opportunities that they have. So the nice thing I like about it is just the accessibility.
Now
That,
batting
a lot of people will say, I'm not available to go to a job fair maybe during the day. I'm working during the day, I'm in class during the day, whatever the case may be. So you can log on here at any time. You can visit the booths and you can come back as many times as you want.
Well, that is a fantastic opportunity for our students over the next couple of months. Again, that's jascpa.vfairs.com.
Come on, Jake.
Kaufman took the first strike, but lays off that one. So run the count to 1-1.
Central Penn needs some base runners now. Get something going here.
And there you go.
Right on cue.
The rope single for Kaufman.
Okay, leveled off on nicely on that one and drove it down the left field line. So let's see if we can do something with the leadoff base runner here.
Now batting, number 34, David Thomas.
Brings up Thomas, who walked back in the second. See if we can get the Bobish there, and there he goes, and there's a bunt. Does get the runner over. after that bunt.
Yeah, and I think he would have had that base stolen even, but we got the tying run now in scoring position with 1 out, so we need a key hit here.
Which brings up
Now batting,
Kevon Davis.
number 50, Kevon Davis.
And again, Davis looking to put something in play here, hopefully in the gap to try to tie this ball game. Did ground into a double play back in the second.
Here we go, Jake. Let's go, Jake.
Fouls that one back.
Listen, man.
1-0 Hazleton.
I was looking around looking at the view of the preserve press. I'll find him eventually. You were sitting too close back here. I couldn't see you visually. Where's
Just off of that one.
In the hole 0-2 here. Gotta be careful he doesn't chase a pitch.
Yep. His dad's super knowledgeable, man. He's a cool cat.
And struck him out.
And that's what he did. It's big for the pitcher to get ahead 0-2 like that because it gives him, it allows him to go outside the strike zone and get the batter to chase.
Lowen is struck out in his only appearance today. But this is a time, as good a time as any for a big base hit here, Steve.
Yeah, good place to get your first Central Penn hit. Just the third game of Lowen's college career here.
And there's the hit they were looking for, but can it get down? Yes, it does.
It does.
And here he comes. What a play to tie up this game as Lowen with the base hit to center field.
He's got to be excited about that, Paul, because not only is it his first hit, but his first hit in a really clutch situation there to tie the game after Central Penn had given up a run in the top of the inning.
Now batting, 0-0, Zach Hafner.
And Hafner with a runner on base and 2 outs. And that one's upstairs. So Bobich has just allowed a couple of singles here, but that bunt that got the runner across was, we may come back to that. That may be the difference.
Yeah, well executed. Whereas Hazleton, you'll recall earlier in the game, had a first and second nobody out situation and tried to do something similar to get the bunt down and popped it up.
And there is a pop-up. This is going to be close to the dugout. Actually went back into the stands. 1-1 the count with 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. Remember, we just played 7 innings, so another run here, Steve, could make all the difference.
Yeah, after those first 4 were scoreless, another run would be really big.
Oh, what'd you say earlier? Pulled the string on him there.
Yes, he did. That's the second time he did that, and effective both times.
And there he goes. And that will do it with the big strikeout there, but the Knights do climb back to even with that run there, thanks to Lowen. And we're going to go to the top of the 6th inning as the Knights tie it up 1-1.
Calling all gamers. Central Penn College was recently accepted into the National Association of Collegiate Esports. We are now a part of the association that boasts more than 130 schools and over 3,000 student athletes. If you have any interest in the Central Penn Gaming Club or the esports program, please reach out to club advisors Michael Pico or Donnie Lewis.
We will be right back. I know it's so hard to see, but
We are back for the top of the sixth in this 1-1 ball game. Next run could be big. Zerby behind in the count 2-1 here to the leadoff hitter. If you're Zerby, you really want to keep this leadoff guy off base. Hazleton has been able to put a lot of pressure on by getting that leadoff man on several innings here today. A good pitch caught the outside corner there. Full count now. Good pitch by Zerby. Down and in the strike zone. Big out. Keeps that leadoff man off base.
Now batting number 1, Solomon Grant.
Grant's 0 for 2 on the day. Good play there by Lowen.
Nice to see 2 quick outs to start the inning here.
Quickly 2 down.
Now batting number 33, Shay Morgan.
Morgan a couple of strikeouts and an 0 for 3 on the day thus far. And that's going to be an easy play back to Zerby.
Nicely done for a 1-2-3 inning.
And
Let's
the
see if we can get the bats going.
The Knights dugout is going insane. On the 1-3 putout.
Paul, staying active just got easier. For those striving to be more active, our athletic department has recently launched Sir Will's Rec Rentals, a new initiative that enables students to borrow sports equipment, sign out basketballs, volleyballs, and more to use in our outdoor rec areas. Stop by the underground to borrow equipment for up to 7 days and get your game on.
Well, Steve, this is a situation you want. Bottom 6 in the top of the order coming up. Zell is yet to get going.
Yeah, and I'd love to see Zell get on base here to lead off the inning with his speed.
Number 11, Owen Zell.
We have a new pitcher in the game for Hazleton, too, Solomon Grant. It's his 5th appearance. He's had 1 start. He's 0-1 with a 2.08 ERA.
And could this be what we're looking for? This is going to be a really tough play for the second baseman.
Yeah.
And Zell gets on. Steve?
You know, anytime he gets his bat on the ball and keeps it on the ground, it's a fun play to watch, right? Because of that speed makes all the difference.
And I'll tell you, with that speed, I think he's going.
33, Adam.
Then you can decide to potentially bunt with Hoover with him at second. There hasn't been a steal attempted today, so interesting to see how the catcher for Hazleton, he does put the bunt down, and Zell will take a big turn at second. I want to see Zell go there before that bunt.
I agree. And it'll be interesting to see now with nobody or with 1 out now if he might try to steal third.
Now batting, number 13, Nick Joseph.
And Joseph had the single back in the 4th.
And I mentioned that Grant had a 2.08 ERA, but he has given up 8 runs in 8 2/3 innings. So obviously 6 of those were unearned runs. 11 hits in 8 2/3 and 9 walks.
And there goes Zell. Zell bluffed, going to third. Looks like they were trying to put a hit and run on there. I appreciate the aggressiveness of Stern, but they haven't even tried an outright steal at this point. Oh, coming up stairs.
And I understand that you don't want to make that second out on the bases with Boyer on deck, who came in hitting .464.
And maybe they had a little scouting on Grant, too, with his troubles finding the plate in previous contests.
Behind him 3-1 now. good hitters count here with that tying run at second, or that go-ahead run rather at second.
And there goes Zell. And he is in there for the steal.
And he had a great jump, Paul. Catcher really didn't have a chance there. So now you've got him at third, and basically anything to the outfield has a great chance to score, Zell.
Number 14, Zach Boyer.
I hope Boyer can just elevate one here beyond. Oh, he squared as if he was going to bunt. And a runner goes down to second, so that takes away the double play. Probably a little surprised there that Boyer would square in that situation. Oh, yeah, that's a gapper.
And that's going to score both of these runs. What a clutch base hit from Boyer. The double brings in 2 runs.
Yeah, that pitch was down and away a little bit, and Boyer just went with it and laced it into left center.
Number 31, Gabe Kaufman.
Well, let's see if we can keep the heat on and get another one here for some insurance. Running out of baseballs here again with all these foul balls. Umpire looking for some more baseballs from the dugout.
What a shot down the third baseline. And here comes another one. As Boyer crosses home plate on the Kaufman single.
And that's big because it gives the pitcher some insurance runs here in the 7th. He doesn't have to feel like he has to be real fine trying to get the batter out. He can really just go after him aggressively.
David Thomas.
Those 2 balls were the hardest balls Central Penn has hit the whole game.
Not a question. And there goes. And the steal from Kaufman.
Getting aggressive on the base pass now.
He must have heard me down there in the dugout saying they hadn't had a straight steal yet.
Yeah, Zell really started with leading off the inning there with the infield single. He's just such a good table setter to get things going.
Thomas on the day had the bunt that led to the run back in the 5th and walked back in the 2nd. Oh, and Clark has really struggled. I'm surprised they pulled Bobish. He was pitching so well. I mean, he did allow the run, but, you know, it was sort of a small ball for the Knights that got that run in, and now Clark has just really struggled here. And walks.
Yeah, and it just seems like he's kind of lost any confidence that he might have had with all the motion on the bases and the hard hit balls. And as I said, even though Grant had a 2.08 ERA coming in, he had given up 11 hits and 9 walks in 8 and 2/3.
Kevon Davis.
Coach Stern taking a timeout here to talk to Kevon before he steps into the batter's box. Let's see what he might be planning here with 1 out.
Davis 0 for 2 on the day. Wonder if that's what that quick chat was about, telling him to take that first pitch. Yvonne was very aggressive on that strikeout back in the 5th.
And Grant has been wild here.
And that's going to be a pop-up. And Grant calls for it and pulls it down. That will be the second out.
And normally you'd think the catcher would take charge there, but I saw when the catcher looked up, he couldn't find that ball in the sun. So it's a good thing that Grant came in and
Now
took
batting number
it.
7, Brian Lowen.
Lowen with the RBI back in the 5th with that big single. Two down here for the Knights, but it's 4-1.
Grand total of 2 runs scored the first 5.5 innings, and the Knights have scored 3 here in the bottom of the 6th.
It's going to be out of play, off to the right.
Knights didn't even have a hit in the first 4 innings, but they've gotten the bats going late here.
And there's a shot to right. It is going to be caught, but the Knights score 3. It's 4-1. We'll be back here with you for the top of the 7th. Let's see if the Knights can close it out here.
Now batting number 2, Eddie West.
Wes, on the day, has walked twice and singled, has 2 steals, and did score the lone Hazleton run. But remember, the Knights just need 3 outs to win this game.
And I think Zerby can feel it now. That 1-2-3 inning in the 6th was really big. Coming off the field, as you mentioned, the Knights dugout was just going crazy, and I think they could just really feel the momentum shift there with that 1-2-3 top of the 6th, and then came back and really got the inning started with the Zell infield single, and his speed on the bases gave them confidence to score the runs they needed.
Runs it full. Such a big pitch here. You got to keep the leadoff runner off of base. him. That's going to bring the heart of the order up.
Great pitch, and a couple of really nice 3-2 pitches there in the last couple of innings where the batters felt like they might, well, and that batter just got thrown out, or somebody in the dugout did. And not sure what he said, but he wasn't happy with the call. But
So it looked like he thought it was a ball and said something under his breath, and the umpire didn't care for that. After that big strikeout here. And
Now batting number 13, Andrew Meitzler.
Meitzler 0 for 2 with a walk back in the first. And a strike there from Zerbe.
Zerbe came in the fifth, didn't pitch badly, but had a lot of trouble and had runners on. Seems to have really gotten his confidence now.
And Zell comes up with that one. And we are 1 out closer to this game being over.
Now batting number 8, Eric Sontag.
Sontag, the final hope. Sontag back with the single. And a strike. And there's a shot to left. And that is a home run from Sontag.
Yeah, that ball's really well hit, and if the wind is helping, it is helping to left a little bit, but really hit that well.
Home run for Sontag, and that makes it 4-2.
And that's why those couple of insurance runs were so big. So you have 2 outs now. And again, it's not the tying run at the plate, so you can come right after the batter. And even though that one was in the dirt, for the most part, Zerbe has done that.
Big cut there, comes up empty. And there's 2.
Dugout coming alive there, anticipating one more strike. Just a bit outside. And again, Zerbe wants to know, was it outside? Was it low?
And there's a shot. Could this do it? To left field. That is going to do it. And the Knights win this contest 4-2. Congratulations to the Knights on winning their first home contest of the year.
Solid ball game, well pitched. The hitting wasn't there in the beginning, but it certainly was for the last couple of innings. A great job by the Knights as they anticipate Game 2. Stay with us for Game 2. We'll be back with you
And again, 4-2, the Knights are victorious. Nightly News Player of the Game here, Steve, will be Zach Boyer with the huge hit, the single, and the RBI that really ultimately ended up being the difference for the Knights.
Yeah, and in that point, all we needed was a nice fly ball to the left field or anywhere in the outfield, really, for Zell to score from third base with his speed. But we got the bonus with the gap, the hit in the gap, and clearing the bases.
We're just waiting for a minute to get Abbee Breski down on the first baseline with our Nightly News Player of the Game.
Nice job by Zerby when he came in relief there, too. That first inning was a little shaky. Gave up the run to temporarily give Hazleton the lead, but he really settled down after that. And again, that 1-2-3-6 just seemed to really fire up the team, knowing that they could come out and take the lead heading to the seventh. And they did just that with 3 runs.
All right, we're going to go down to Abbee Breski.
Truly helped us.
What do you think the 6th inning did? So you think it was Zerby coming in after that inning?
I think Zerby definitely put a spark in us. We were kind of quiet the whole game until he came in here and put a little spark into us. But after that, I mean, we knew what we had to do. We came out and we finished business.
All right. Well, congratulations
Thank
on
you.
the first win. We're excited to see the second game.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
All right, well, that's going to do it for Paul Miller and Steve Hassinger here again. Knights win 4-2. Stay tuned. We'll be back here with you in just a couple minutes for the second game of the doubleheader. For Paul Miller and Steve Hassinger, we'll see you again soon.